Hello, my name is Jolene Applegate. Welcome to my video artifact for Organizational Leadership 4343 Leading Change. Today is Friday, December 19th, 2014. Question number 1. Our first learning objective was to recognize and describe organizational change in varied organizations, profit and nonprofit. Before I took this course, I believed that organizational change was something that management dictated and others were drug along whether you understood it or not, or whether you were for it or not. And I have to say that at times I have been adverse to change and wanted things to stay the same even when change might have been warranted. Now, after reading and reflecting, I see myself all over our textbook when it comes to employees that resist change. I have come to realize the value of engaging employees in change, whether it be a profit or nonprofit setting. I understand that organizations must continually adapt in order to improve, to remain competitive, and that employees need to be open to change and embrace it instead of reacting to it or pushing back against it. Number 2, our second learning objective was to explain and demonstrate behaviors, characteristics to establish credibility and legitimacy as a change agent. Before I took this course, I was not sure what behavior or characteristics would be associated with a change agent, nor did I understand how being a credible or legitimate change agent could impact the effectiveness in implementing change. I have to admit that at times I've been suspicious of managers who arrived promoting change before they even knew our operations. And now, after reading and reflecting, I realize how important the role of change agent is, and I understand that an OD specialist is pivotal to organizational change, and that in fact it can be a very positive experience. I learned the change agent, whether internal or external, would need to be an effective communicator and to be adept at building bridges and consensus for the projects that they are assigned to implement. If they have a proven history of value, are results-oriented, and have consistent follow-through, and they are ethical, these attributes can help them earn credibility and legitimacy in the workplace. Common values needed in an OD are respect for people, trust and support, power equalization, confrontation, and participation. Question number 3. Our third learning objective was to recognize the current dynamic social, political, and cultural environment for change and its potential impact on contemporary organizations. Before I took this course, I mistakenly believed that none of these factors were related, and I assumed they function independently if I actually understood the subject. Now, after reading and reflecting, I have learned how intrinsically woven and interrelated they actually are. This course has helped me to understand how important it is for these factors to be examined together to effectively implement strategic change. I can now see the value of understanding environmental forces in relationship to organizational systems in order to gauge how they affect strategic change. It has made a great deal of sense to me when I read that successful organizations must be a dynamic engine of change. Question number 4. Our fourth objective was to explain the role of conflict in organizational change and to understand how to guide conflict to serve the interests of the learning organization. Before I took this course, I believed that role conflict in organizational change meant for an employee to be possibly confused about their place in the organization regarding changing boundaries and the scope of newly assigned job duties. And I was unfamiliar with what or how that type of situation should be addressed. And now, after reading and reflecting, I understand that it's not role conflict, but it's the role of conflict. I fully grasp that conflict is inevitable in organizations, and I realize it will occur, but that I need to be able to understand how to respond and manage conflict in order to enhance individual, group, or organizational effectiveness. Being able to guide conflict starts with being able to recognize complex situations that involve the 5 styles that range from cooperative to assertive behavior. I have learned it is important to select the best strategy for the situation so the conflict can be addressed and processed appropriately so it does not impede organizational change and growth. Our final question, number 5, dealt with the learning objective of to identify fundamental theories of leadership change and explain their application. Before I took this course, I believed that I really didn't know enough detail about the theories that were fundamental to leadership, although I had personally been exposed exposed to TQM training, and I felt like I understood what that concept was about. Now, after reading and reflecting, I have a much clearer understanding of the various leadership theories to include continuous improvement process, as well as the ideology behind job design, and I understand how it relates to job characteristics theory and the job enrichment theory. After taking this class, I've gained more depth about the objectives and characteristics that are part of TQM, and I feel like I have a good understanding of the Malcolm Baldrige Award and how it recognizes excellence. I can see how understanding these theories would facilitate an OD in being able to analyze, recommend, and lead productive change for an organization. Thank you.